Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that.
See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Joining BJ Rains today is KTVB Sports Director Jay Tust. Check him out on Twitter at KTVB Sports Guy and make sure to check out KTVB.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now here's Jay Tust and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. We are at Circa Resort and Casino, towering over downtown Las Vegas. A beautiful day. We're here to make a cool announcement. What better place would you rather be to watch football on New Year's Eve, watch the playoff games on New Year's Day than Circa Las Vegas? And we are here outside at Stadium Swim. You see the 3 levels, 6 different pools. Jay Tust would have that private cabana area there all to himself, I'm sure. But you can see the games on the big screen. They got the music going with the DJ. They got the betting lines there, the private pools, and they are heated, by the way. Even this time of year when it's cold, these are heated pools. So you can come down anytime. You're basically watching sports in a hot tub, but you got the private day beds, the cabanas, as you see there, overlooking the largest outdoor sports amphitheater in the world. It's only fitting since they have the largest sports book in the world down inside. But we are excited to be here. Stadium Swim at Circa Resort and Casino. There's the cabanas. That's going to be part of our special announcement coming up here briefly. But the private cabanas right there overlooking the private pool area. And again, overlooking all of the action here at Stadium Swim. It's a unbelievable spot created by Derek Stevens and company. They got the betting odds there, and you can see Mountain West hoops right at the top. Utah State and Air Force kicking off Mountain West play today. We got some big games on tap. We're excited to talk about it, and that is why we are here. Oh, of course, you got to show the obligatory bar shot, all the frozen drinks. They're just about to open, actually. They just opened here at 9 o'clock, Jay Tust, so folks are already streaming in, making their way with some beverages. And again, you see the steam coming off the pools here. Awesome time. Going to welcome in Jay Tust in just a second, but wanted to show you the shot here. I apologize. The lighting's a little off. We don't have the KTVB level cameras and lighting here, but doing the best we can. We are live at Stadium Swim. Thanks to Aaron and Brooke and everybody for having us out here in Las Vegas. Had an awesome time for New Year's and super excited to be here at Stadium Swim as we make a cool announcement about our coverage for the Mountain West tournament. So get your thoughts, your comments, your questions in. Mountain West play starts today. Not for Boise State. They don't play till Friday. But there are 3 games tonight, including a big one later this evening, New Mexico at Colorado State. Really looking forward to that one as well. But we got a lot of cool announcements to make, and we've been off for about a week, so it feels good to be back and feels good to bring in our man Jay Tust here as well as we kick off Bronco Nation News in 2024. Jay Tust, Happy New Year, and how you doing, man?
I'm good. Happy New Year, bud. Looks like you had some fun down there. I know you said that I'd have the private cabana, but you sent me pictures where it looked like you had the private cabana. Apparently, Karen Rains has some serious pull down there.
Yeah, she is the one with all the pull. Yes, she is. We had a good time watching football thanks to Derek Stevens and Tyler Mays and Darren Banks. And I mentioned Aaron and Brooke and the whole crew down here. They really do treat us like family. I have no idea why, Jay, but we come down here and they roll out the red carpet for us, and it's crazy, but we're super appreciative of our relationship with them and had a good time watching football from the pool on Sunday. We were watching the college football playoff games from the sports book yesterday. Two great games, Jay. I know we're going to mostly talk basketball and mostly talk Boise State today, but two unbelievable championship games back-to-back yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna embarrass myself here a little bit. The kids have been sick. Sleep has been hard to come by in the Tust household, especially coming off of Christmas. So I actually fell asleep with about a minute 30 to go in the Washington, Texas game. And so I woke up and I saw on Twitter that it was a crazy ending, and I watched it, and wow, that's about as crazy of an ending that if Texas would have scored, it would have been a little crazier, I guess. But the fact that Texas was without timeouts, UW as a player that gets hurt, it's the only thing that gives Texas a chance to prolong that game. And what a wild finish. What a wild finish. I would assume it was pretty crazy being in Vegas, because usually people that are watching at a sports book in Las Vegas have money on those games, BJ.
Yes.
So I would assume that the end of that thing was absolutely insane being there.
Both games were crazy. The overtime game there with Michigan and Alabama going to overtime, that game was crazy in the sports book. And then, this isn't like watching some Tuesday night Mountain West game. This was the national, semifinals, college football playoff with millions of dollars on the line in that sports book. And probably folks that had way more money on the games than I did, just going absolutely crazy. And especially that second game when the drinks had been flowing and stuff. It was an exciting time, to say the least, at the sports book down there in Las Vegas. And congrats to Washington. I mean, Boise State, we saw them early in the season, Jay. I don't think that was Boise State at its best, in that game. They're obviously they torched the secondary. We saw that offense, Michael Penix Jr., what they can do. And I know, Mike Sanford said it on Ball Talk a month or two ago. Is this the best team Boise State's ever faced in terms of, Washington? And he said you got to go at least a decade, probably longer, maybe ever, to play a team in the regular season that's now playing for it all in a week. I think you got to say Washington, that's the best team Boise State's ever played.
It'd be hard to argue at this point. I mean, they're playing a team they played a team that's playing for a national championship. And I mean, I think we've said it, maybe not on this show, but sometime along the throughout the season in conversation that, and it pains me, man. It really pains me, but UW is good enough to win this thing, win it all. And the moment the college football play brackets were revealed, I felt even more strongly about it, because Michael Penix Jr. was without a doubt the best quarterback in the field. Now, Michigan has the better defense, but if there was any quarterback in the college football playoff that I would want leading my team, it would be Michael Penix Jr. He threw for 430 last night. Those receivers are insane. They are going to be without running back Dylan Johnson. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't know that, but he gets carted off the field. It seemed like something miraculous would have to happen for him to make it back for the championship, next Monday. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know. Yeah. But what a weekend, what a game. Both games were outstanding. Can't believe that Alabama couldn't finish that thing off. They haven't lost many games with Nick Saban there, period, right? I would love to know how many times they have not closed out a game up 7 with 5 minutes or whatever it was to go. I bet you his record is not, somewhere 99%. It's probably darn near impossible to beat them when they have that lead with that amount of time remaining.
Yeah, when they were up 4, if they could have just scored a touchdown there, they would have put it away, but they had to go for the field goal. They do go up 7, and then the defense is unable to make the stop there. And then overtime, I'm not sure if that was, I haven't read or seen if that was the original play or if he panicked or something when he kept it there and then ran right into the traffic, and they lose in overtime. And go Huskies, by the way. I think it'd be a cool story for Washington. Final year of the Pac-12, so to speak, and for a Pac-12 team who, let's be honest, has been criticized a lot for are they on par with the other levels, and do they deserve spots in the playoffs and all this kind of stuff for the last several years with their teams losing in a lot of these semifinal games. If Washington could win it all and take down Michigan, I think it would be an incredible story next week.
Well, now you're looking at maybe the preview of the Big Ten title game next year.
How about that?
Right.
Or anybody else watching that Oregon, by the way, anybody else watching that Oregon Liberty game? And I know that they're not going to have, Bo Nix and some of their players, but I was watching that game going, yeah, Boise State's playing them in about 8 months. I mean, yeah. It was. I was definitely thinking about that.
They're not going to have Bo Nix, but they're going to have somebody that isn't too far off his level, and Dylan Gabriel back there under center next year. That's going to be a tough one, and I think it's kind of funny, a little Boise State, BJ, they led the way that this whole season started for Washington. They were down 6 to Boise State after the
Boise
first.
State held a lead on the team playing in the national championship. Don't forget that.
And now the Dogs win by 6 to go to the national championship. So, not that really means anything. I was just kind of having fun with that.
Got to, man.
I can't say the words that you uttered consecutively, something about dogs and movement forward. Kind of, there's another word for that. I'm not gonna string those two words together, BJ.
Okay.
But even as a Coug, it is really hard for me to not. I don't know. I can't even bounce for myself to say it. I think you know where I'm going with this one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Michael Penix Jr. is somewhat likable, and I said this before. Way back when Boise State played them, Kalen DeBoer does not get his due when we talk about the great coaches in college football. His overall record is better than Chris Peterson's. I mean, that alone should make. As a head coach, his overall record is better than Chris Peterson's. That alone should make you stop.
Would Boise State have beaten Liberty, by the way?
Oh, I think so.
I mean, I guess you would have had to put a caveat there. Would they have Taylor Green or not?
Yeah.
But if you go back and you look at Liberty, and you had to give it to them. They were undefeated. I get it. But I don't think anybody really expected them to hang with Oregon.
It is impossible to have a worse strength of schedule than Liberty. I'm not saying, hey, it's like the worst. It was literally the worst in college football.
Wow. That's crazy. And I think Boise State would Boise State have been favored on a neutral field if they were played in a bowl game?
Probably
not. They're 8-5, but
yeah, I'm gonna guess not because the undefeated versus 8-5, probably not. But that's a game that I would have looked at and been like, man, I think Boise State's got a chance against these guys.
Oh,
and
no doubt.
I honestly didn't watch a ton of that specific game. I think I was watching. Was LSU?
LSU was on at the same time.
Wisconsin on at the same time.
Yeah, it was.
I was watching that one.
That's the beauty of the sports book, man. You got all the games, all the different spots right there. And speaking of that, Jay, I do want to talk basketball, but I want to transition into our big announcement here first. And I'm not sure, quote unquote, how big it is, but we've been teasing at it. I just wanted to finally make it official. One of the reasons we're down here at Circa Resort and Casino, we do want to officially announce we're obviously wanting people to come stay here for the Mountain West tournament. They have 3 properties. They have Circa, they have the D, and they have Golden Gate. We have a 15% off link. If you're wanting to stay at any of the 3 properties, we have a 15% off link. You can email me. We're going to start putting that in our daily email that goes to subscribers. But you don't have to be a subscriber. If you're just a Boise State fan, you want to come down here and stay and check out this palace. I mean, the best thing about conference tournament week, Jay, is there's literally games on all day, every day. You can come out here at 9 a.m. and watch a Big Ten quarterfinal or whatever. I mean, it is crazy.
BJ, I honestly believe that it is actually more fun to be in Vegas for conference tournament time than it would be for March Madness. And
I think so.
It's just because, I know there's games on all day when the tournament first tips off on, that Wednesday.
Yeah.
But when there's conference, I mean, there's like a dozen games every day.
It is crazy.
More than that. It's conference tournament time down there is a lot of fun. And then not only do you get the chance to probably get over and watch the games in one of these incredible venues like the one you're throwing up here on the screen, but you can actually get to go to some of these games, like seeing Boise State and Colorado State battle for a championship maybe in a few in about 2.5 months. Now it's only a week away from the first tango between those two, but that's an awesome time. I would highly recommend it. I've long said that conference tournament time might be funner than March Madness down there.
All right, so we usually do our party on Wednesday night. Jay's come over there and done the live shot. We've had pretty good crowds, and I think we're still going to probably try to do that as a secondary event. It's just tough for people coming down on a Wednesday night when the tournament games don't start until Thursday, Jay. A lot of people come down Thursday morning, maybe even Friday morning if they make the semifinals. So we are pleased to officially announce, and I'm hoping we can even get a Jay Tust live shot out here. Who knows? But we are going to be hosting a BNN pool party here at Stadium Swim in Circa, and I have more details coming in the next couple of days of a hopefully local favorite radio station also being involved, but I haven't been able to 100% lock that down yet, so I don't want to announce it early, but hoping to have our friends at a local station involved doing their show down here and things as well. But on Friday of the semifinal Friday, Jay, I've always been a little leery of doing events on Friday because you don't know if they're going to win on Thursday or what's going to happen. But you know what? I'm taking a chance they're going to win on Thursday this year. I'm also just saying, you know what? You're not leaving Vegas right away on Friday morning. If your team loses on Thursday, you're staying, you're hanging around and in Las Vegas. for the weekend probably, or at least for Friday. So Friday morning from 10 until 5. The semifinal games don't start until 6 o'clock on Friday night. So 10 to 4, 10 to 5. We'll see. 5 o'clock is when the local show would end. We'll say like 10 a.m. starting all day. There'll be games on. There will be awesome things, food, drinks. They're basically giving us a private area, Jay Tust. This is one of the private, basically, sides of the upper level. It's roped off right now. This is basically going to be the BNN area for this party. So come join us Friday, March 15th. March 15th, Friday, Circa Resort and Casino, Stadium Swim. Even if you are not staying here, how about this, Jay Tust? As long as you RSVP, I will have a link from Circa in the next 24 hours. If you RSVP to this link, they will give you free entry into Stadium Swim for the party. Typically, it's about $25 to get in if you're not staying at the hotel. If you RSVP in advance, they will give you free entry into Stadium Swim for our party on Friday, March 15th. So make plans now. Hopefully you'll stay at Circa. Hopefully you'll stay at the D. It's well worth the price. I think the average is about $200 a night at Circa for the tournament. It's about $88 a night at the D. I have the 15% off coupon for both. If you email me or DM me on Twitter, I will send you the link, and hopefully you'll choose to stay at one of the properties here. But if you don't, hopefully you will still make plans to join us on Friday, March 15th, 10 until 4. We'll be out here with food specials, drink specials. If you are a BNN subscriber, you're going to get access to some extra food and drink areas. We're going to have these cabanas and things. So a lot of cool stuff we're working on. And again, hopefully you'll make plans to join us. But this is going to be basically what it is. We have like all these private cabanas, private area. We'll be doing our show. We'll have other shows going on. And you can come hang with Boise State fans in the pool all day and watch the quarterfinals of the Big 10, the Big 12, all the other games that'll be going on. 10 to 4 on Friday, March 15th. And again, if you RSVP at the link we're going to send you, you get free entry to this party, courtesy of Bronco Nation News and Circa Resort and Casino. And we'll have some food and drinks for subscribers. We'll have a little private cabana area for paying subscribers. Everybody else is still welcome. We'll have just this whole area, just Boise State fans taking over, hanging out. And I hope everybody will make plans to come. If there was ever a year to come to the conference tournament, and I feel like the last couple of years, more and more Boise State fans have started to come because of how Boise State is doing. I know that the non-conference play, they don't go into conference play here, at the top of the conference maybe right now, but I still think that would make the conference tournament even more exciting, knowing Boise State may need to do some damage in that tournament to get to the tournament. So if you're ever considering a trip to the Mountain West tournament, I think this is the year, Jay, and hopefully folks will come check us out and come check out Circa Resort and Casino. Mountain West tournament should be a lot of fun, and looking forward Friday all day having a pool party out at the pool before the semifinals.
Seems like fun, man. I'm already excited about that time of year. I can wait to get there, but the next 2-3 months they're a blast. Every game in the Mountain West is going to be fun this year. You see how many quality teams there are. Going on the road in this league this year is going to be really, really tough.
Yeah,
I just really wouldn't be surprised if we see the Mountain West champ have 4 or 5 losses in league play this year. And usually it's somewhere 2-3, but I think it might even creep up to 4 or 5, because you look at Boise State this year and some of the road venues they have to go play in, and going to Colorado State's not a given. Nevada, they're just a lot. The Pit in New Mexico, these are really tough places to go get wins. And so even if you sweep at home and split on the road, BJ, you're looking at like that 4 or 5 loss conference play. And man, I look at that and I would take that this year with how good the league is.
Jordan says this is going to be so sick. Nathaniel says the foam, assume this foam hat will be there. So looking forward to this. And again, I want to reiterate, free appetizers and probably 2 or 3. We'll figure out how we're going to do it. A couple of free drinks if you're a paid subscriber. If you're not, we'll have some other discounts and things available. But Circa is hooking it up. And we got to return the favor here to Circa and bring a big crowd. They're reserving us a huge area here, and they're, donating a lot of this stuff. So to basically thank us, and also just to get a big crowd in here. So if you're at all thinking about it, decide right now you're going to Vegas. Email me, DM me. I'll send you the 15% off link for the properties. And if you want to stay somewhere else or you already have reservations, that's fine. But make sure after Boise State wins on Thursday, Friday. You're coming out at 10 a.m. for the pool party here at Circa. We may even get a Jay Tust. Can we get you in the pool shirtless or something? Can we get you out here sunbathing, Jay? Can you do your workout on Friday morning out here by the pool?
Nobody wants to see that. I heard John Mallory, though, if he is in attendance, might be willing to do that, though. He has
done it before, and hopefully that will be happening again. Yes. And there's, like I said, some future details we can't officially announce yet, but there will be live events, things going on. As I said, 10 to 4, there'll be sports on. You can meet other Boise State fans, hang out, and get ready for the semifinals. And there will be some food and drink included for subscribers and some other things. Nathaniel says, "Come on, Jay, take one for the team here."
I'm going to leave that up to Nathaniel to pull off.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward to it. Again, email me if you're interested in the link. If not, I will start posting the link for you to RSVP. And if you RSVP through Circa's website, they will give you free entry. It's usually $25, $30, sometimes for the conference tournament weekend, $40 on a Friday to get in. And if you've ever wanted to check it out, it is free. No cost if you're in Vegas for the Mountain West tournament. So let's pack this place, and we'll have more details as we go. But I just wanted to officially get it on your calendar, March 15th, semifinal Friday here at Circa Resort and Casino. Jay, I mentioned conference play starting tonight. I want to take a quick 90-second timeout, but let's get into Boise State and this actual conference race here and what we're seeing. And there's 3 games tonight, and you were on the call, did an outstanding job of the Utah Valley game with Brian King. So I want to kind of just sum up non-conference play and look ahead to Boise State and conference play as they get set on Friday to play at San Jose State. We will do that in 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. Jay, I think we figured out how to help the KTVB budget for the tournament. Jordan Morales saying you could pay for his trip taking pics with the tourists like Thunder from Down Under guys on Fremont Street there.
Jordan's the only one that's like, I don't know, I don't want to relate that to Thunder Down Under there, but Jordan's the only one that probably like, yeah, I'll take a picture with Jay for $5 if it helps the cause. Everybody else be like, nah, I'm good.
They actually have that on Fremont Street. There's guys juggling, doing magic tricks, guys dancing, freezing, and then there's a little booth with like 2 shirtless guys trying to take photos there for the Thunder from Down Under booth. So, Jay, maybe in between live shots, take the shirt off a few times?
Yeah, sure. Whatever helps the cause. Yeah, absolutely.
Dennis Beebe says, I will be there for the tournament. Can't wait. Derek Morales chiming in. Looking forward to the Stadium Swim tournament weekend. It'll be a lot of fun. And, so hopefully folks will make it. And, Jay, what seed is Boise State going to be when we get down here to Las Vegas for this tournament? Got the non-conference portion of the schedule wrapped up, 9-4. I think the Washington State game is the one game where if you just could have got that game, 10-3, you'd be on a nice winning streak here. I think you'd feel a little better about things. Woke up this morning, Boise State number 70 in the net rankings. You look at the KenPom rankings as well, and they chime in at number 65 there. A lot of work to do, but a lot of opportunities. Where are you on Boise State right now?
Man, we talk about this so often, BJ, about the parity in this league, and maybe we're going to learn a little bit more about all these teams, or we certainly will learn a little bit more about all these teams over the next 2 months. But I think that, the closer and closer you get to conference tournament time and you try to, see where this thing might seed out and the potential best path to maybe getting to Saturday to play for a conference championship, I just don't know if you're going to be able to actually come up with something that you feel great about this year. And what I mean by that is I think you're looking at 1 through 6. The parity in this league is going to be off the charts. And so it's not going to be a scenario where like, okay, how do we at least avoid the 1 seed until Saturday? Because I just don't think there's a huge difference between the 1 seed and the 4 or 5 and maybe even 6 seed this year. I want to see more out of Utah State. What they've been able to do with a completely rebuilt roster is crazy. I mean, they should be one of the better stories in college basketball because they lost their head coach. They completely made over their roster and they're sitting at 12-1. They're top 35 in the net right now too, I believe. I just don't know if there's a team that you're looking at like, the San Diego State teams of a couple years ago where their length and athleticism was just so overwhelming that you didn't want to play them until you had to play them. I'm not there this year with San Diego State. I'm not there this year with a lot of these teams. I think Boise State can match up well with just about anybody because they're very versatile and athletic themselves. I don't know, man. Like it's a great question. Where's this team going to be? They could be 1, they could be 6. I think the whole goal this year, BJ, like in the year really, is finish top 5, get that first round bye, finish top 5, and save your legs for a 3-day run instead of trying to do 4 and 4.
I'd go even further, Jay. I'd say you want to finish top 2 if it's at all possible, just because we kind of right now think there's a divide between the top 6 teams and everybody else. And Jay, if you can finish top 6 or top 2, then you're playing 7 or 8 in that quarterfinal game. If you finish 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th, you're playing 3rd, 4th, 5th. You're having to play one of those other top teams there potentially in the first round. I mean, 3 versus 6, I guess there's a 6-11 possibility there. But I mean, I totally agree. Big picture goal, get the bye and get that not have to play on Wednesday. But if you can finish, you obviously want to finish as high as you can. But I do think there's a difference between 2 or 3 this year because you would get to play a UNLV Fresno type team instead of having to play Utah State or New Mexico or somebody right there in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, BJ. I'll agree with you on that one. I think another thing too that this is going to be like the end of football season. We're going to be paying attention to like every single tiebreaker scenario there is possible because there's going to be a number of these seeds that are probably going to be determined by that. So we should probably start looking it up right now for what it's going to look like at the end of February, BJ, beginning of March.
I saw Jeff Grammer, every night he posts his Mountain West standings. And last night was the first night he posted the standings with conference play starting today. And he had every team at 0-0. And there was like 3 responses. What are the tiebreakers? How did Air Force get picked first? And he just went alphabetical order. And you're right. There's going to be some sort of tie. There might be 3 teams tied at 13-5 or whatever, like you said. The home games are going to be so important, Jay, but also the games like on Friday, like the games against the other top 5, you have to sweep those games. You have to win this game against San Jose State on Friday. You have to win these games where you're clearly the better team. Now, again, Ken Pom only has this as a 6-point Boise State victory, so this is not expected to be some game where Boise State walks in and wins by 15, 20 points. I will say this, Jay, after losing the game, and we'll talk about this, I believe you're going to join me Friday morning. We can get more into the actual game, but I do think that the way they lost there last year, and that kind of screwed some things up for the win in the league, and then also the fact that it's the first conference game and they're roaring to go after having the bye, I would suspect Boise State to come out and play pretty well on Friday.
Yeah, I actually liked Boise State's response to having this early bye. I initially was like, oh, man, the first bye, that's a bummer, man. You want to save that thing for at least probably 2 weeks from now. So you feel like you play a few games, you get a rest, and you play more games, and then you get a rest, and then you play more games, and then the conference tournament is here. You break that up. Now you really feel like Boise State only truly has 1 bye in Mountain West Conference play, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, that they're going to have to stay healthy and rested, and hopefully this works out for them. But now, like that, we kind of look at the big picture of this thing. They're a mature team. They're a veteran team. They have they're deeper than they've been in quite a while.
Yep.
I'm kind of actually okay with this early bye because it really allows you to reset, focus on what you need to do prior to the most important 2-month stretch of your season. Like conference play was fun. It helps your resume, but now like this is what determines your fate come March Madness. And so I kind of like this last little bye to make sure that you reset coming out of the new year and really focus on going down to San Jose State and taking care of business against the Spartans. And I actually really loved Max Rice's answer when we spoke with him following the Utah Valley game about how he views this. And, you know, Max, man, he pays attention to everything. And it's so funny because you've actually asked a couple of questions, BJ, that probably make guys a little, players at a post-game press conference a little uncomfortable because they don't want to admit how much they pay attention to some of the stuff out there. But Max is like, no, I'm paying attention. Like, I know this stuff matters. I know margin of victory matters. Are we trying to be, is this any unsportsmanlike thing where we're trying to run up the score? Absolutely not. But we also know that at the end of the game, it's still important to get defensive stops, right? So I love the fact that Max pays attention to all this stuff. And what he said when he first saw the schedule come out, he joked, oh, man, maybe Leon Rice will give us the weekend off to celebrate New Year's before we come back and start preparing again. And now that we're in the moment, he was like, no, forget that, man. I'm going to be back in the gym Sunday morning because I want to improve. I want to get better. This whole team has that mindset. Like, they don't want time off. They want to make sure that they're making the necessary steps forward to make this team the best team possible that it can be, untap all of its potential, which I believe they have a ton of potential. And so I just thought that was a really cool answer from Max. He threw me for a loop, man. I really thought he was going to say, no, weekend off, let's celebrate New Year's, have a little fun before we get down to business. And Max just wants to be all business right now.
I do. I agree with that. And, they get a little bit of time to rest, but also some extra time to practice. And like I said, I would be surprised, Jay, if they don't come out and play really well against San Jose State. But as I said, I think the key here, Jay, is you got to take care of business at home. Do I expect them to go undefeated at home again this year? No. But I do think Tuesday is a massive game against Colorado State because you're still looking for that quote-unquote marquee win, that top win. And if you could get it and go to 2-0 in conference play, and I think that would send a message to the rest of the league, the fans around the league, the players, the coaches, like, oh, yeah, Boise State, yep, that looks like they are still pretty good. And not to say they don't think that already, but I do get this sense that a lot of people just look at their record and just look at their computer numbers and just say, they're not as good this year as everybody thought they'd be. And, I think if you watch them play, I think we could all admit at times, Jay, we would have expected it to look a little better than it has to this point. But, I think a lot of people just look at the record and the numbers and say, oh, Boise State's not, they're not who we thought they were. They've underachieved and all this. But if they were to beat San Jose and then go beat Colorado State at home and get that first marquee win of their season, that first quad one win, and that first, I think, statement to the rest of the league, oh, yeah, here's the top 15 ranked, top team in the league right now. Well, yeah, we got something to say about that. And I think that would really change the outlook for the season, the expectations if you're able to beat Colorado State on Tuesday. I think that is a massive game. I know you got to get through the other game first, but you already had a couple people, packing the X next Tuesday will be huge. Catching CSU after playing UNM and Utah State could be helpful. Nate says the X will be electric on Tuesday. I know they got a game first, but for me, if you can get this game, because don't forget, Jay, right after right after Colorado State, they have to go to Nevada, which is going to be really tough. And then the next week they have UNLV and then San Diego State at home. I mean, if you lose the CSU game, then you have to go to Reno. You could be 1-2 in league. And then you're looking at 2-3 maybe if you can't beat San Diego State. So I think that Colorado State game is a early massive swing game for this conference season.
Yeah, I mean, and I do think Colorado State's good. Don't get me wrong. You look at their offensive efficiency, it is off the charts. They are really experienced. They are a team that really is benefiting from the COVID year. Isaiah Stevens is back. They added a transfer from Colorado. They have done a really nice job of some player retention, but then obviously complementing that by using transfers to help them. Sure. I will say this though, like, you look at, they have had, I don't want to take too much away from them because I do believe that Colorado State is a really, really good team. They beat Washington. They beat Colorado. Colorado's a team that's kind of on the cusp of cracking the top 25. They did lose to St. Mary's, though, a team that Boise State was able to beat on a neutral court. Yeah. Colorado State's getting a lot of credit for that win over Creighton, which they should. I mean, they blew out Creighton 69-48. They should get a lot of credit for that.
Creighton hasn't looked quite as good, though.
That is where I'm kind of going with this one, BJ. And Creighton, for me, You know, they have dropped out of my top 25 poll. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. One of those to UNLV, the other 2 against Villanova, who Villanova is going to be good. They always are, but it's not like they're a top 10 Villanova team this year. Sure. And then they lost by 5 at Marquette. That is a respectable loss because Marquette's a top 10 team. I'm just saying they've gotten a lot of credit for that win, and we're still trying to see if Creighton is as good as, as kind of advertised early in the season. That'll be a big game. Bronco Nation needs to respond, man. Like, I don't know how often I bang the drum for that, BJ, but this is a program game, man. And what I mean by that is you need everybody working, everybody clicking. You need the coaches, the players, but certainly the fans and the atmosphere all cranked up to 10 for a game like this. And you get to see Isaiah Stevens, man. Like, he's one of the best players in Mountain West Conference history, not just this season, but really in Mountain West history. And the fact that he still wants to be in Colorado Springs is pretty remarkable, because I'm guessing that guy had lots of offers to go wherever the heck he wanted. So that's a big opportunity and a big moment.
And speaking of big opportunities, big moments, I mean, it's crazy, Jay. You look at, like just Ken Palm, for example, and you look at Boise State's schedule. There is not very many easy stretches on this schedule. It is one tough game after another, and you go straight from you get San Jose State, but then you got Colorado State, Nevada, UNLV, San Diego State. All those are top 100 teams. Oh, we get a game against Fresno. That's great. But then you got Utah State and New Mexico back-to-back right after that. Then, Air Force, at home. Okay, well, then it's at Colorado State, at Utah State, back-to-back right after that. And then the easiest stretch, I think, is a 3-game stretch where you have Fresno State, San Jose State, Wyoming, and Air Force. 4 games in a row there in the middle of February. But you are at Wyoming and at Air Force, which can be tricky games there. But then you finish up New Mexico, Nevada, San Diego State, at San Diego State, final 3 games. So there are not very many stretches where you're going more than one game where that you would say is a quote-unquote gimme game, Jay. Every night out is just going to be a battle, and that's why these games against, as I said, teams in the projected lower half of the standings have to be wins. That may determine this, Jay, which team loses to a team outside of the other top 5. And then, as I said, for the most part, you have to try to take care of business at home, because you cannot expect to go finish, with a super high, record on the road against San Diego State, Colorado State, New Mexico, and Utah State.
Yeah.
And Nevada. I mean, that's 5 tough road games you got. I mean, you might take 2 and 3 at this point in those 5 games. I mean, maybe 1 and 4, 0 and 5 are certainly possible with that. I mean, it's going to be really hard to win on the road at those venues. So you got to win as many of the home games, and you got to win the gimmies.
That's why I said, BJ, it's going to be really important to defend your home floor this year, because when you have to go to Colorado State, Utah State, San Diego State, Nevada, when you have to go to those venues, I mean, you are probably going to be an underdog in most of those venues. And if you can't pull off a road upset, then, well, we know what the ultimate outcome is. You're going to lose. And so, like, that's why I'm saying, man, like, there are a lot of those teams that have to come to Boise. Like, so Boise State's part of that equation as well. I just feel that you're going to deal with a regular season champ that could have 4 or 5 losses this year, which would suggest the parity in this league is going to be off the charts. I hope the league doesn't beat itself up too much, though, where it starts to lose bids. I hope they get credit and that they still get, 4 or 5 teams into the NCAA tournament at the end of this thing. But you want to talk about resume building, BJ?
Yeah.
You look at the month of March for Boise State. I don't mean to look too far ahead, but Boise State wraps up the regular season by hosting New Mexico, hosting Nevada, and then going to San Diego State. I mean, those are all easily quad 2 opportunities. Might be San Diego State will be a quad 1 opportunity, but those other ones might be quad 1 opportunities when all is said and done as well. So that could be a tremendous opportunity for Boise State to build their resume in the final weeks of the season, and that goes into the Mountain West Conference tournament, right?
Yep.
That's going to be a wild time, man. Those are going to be some really, really fun, tightly contested games.
Got an afternoon game, kind of an odd 2:00 start time. Utah State is at Air Force today, Jay, in the first official Mountain West Conference game of the year. Utah State at Air Force at 2:00. San Jose State, we'll see them tonight against Wyoming, 6:30 Mountain Time start. San Jose State is at Wyoming tonight, and then they'll turn around and be home on Friday against Boise State. And then the big game of the night, 8:30 Mountain Time on FS1. New Mexico, 12-1 at Colorado State, 12-1. An early chance for a nice win for one of those teams. And as somebody pointed out, Colorado State plays New Mexico, and then has to go to Utah State. Jay, before they come to Boise State. So Colorado State's got a little bit of a gauntlet here. I need to take one more quick timeout, and then we're going to wrap this up. Jay, I do want to get your thoughts on just this team. We saw the Utah Valley game. Where does this team need to get better? What do you like? We'll wrap it up quickly, but need to take one more quick timeout here on Bronco Nation News. Back in 90 seconds. Where are you at? Are you feeling good about this team? Who needs to play better? Where are you concerned? Let us know. We'll discuss next here in 90 seconds on Bronco Nation News.
Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State Athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com.
All right, final segment of the show. We're here at Stadium Swim at Circa Resort and Casino. If you joined us late, we made the announcement. This will be the unofficial headquarters for Bronco Nation News here at, it's the official headquarters for Bronco Nation News, the unofficial, for fans to come down. And we'd love to have you. March 15th will be our pool party. We'll be out here from 10 to 4 and more details to come on that. But again, that'll be free admission if you RSVP in advance through a link that I will send out here in the near future. Be checking your email, be checking social media as well for that. And if you want the 15% off stay for Circa or the D or Golden Gate, send me an email or DM me, and I will get you the private link there as well. Okay, Jay, you were on the call for the Utah Valley game. We saw Max Rice, Tyson Degenhart both surpass 1,000 points. As I said, maybe at times this year it hasn't quite looked as smooth, as easy as we would have thought. I do think the strength of schedule and who they're playing has had something to do with that. But overall, this team going into conference play, what do you like? What do you don't like?
I can answer that in the same question, BJ, in all honesty. What I do and I don't like about this team is that I don't feel as confident in the current product in this team as I did about last year's team going into conference play. With that being said, there is a glass half full to that because I personally also think that the ceiling on this team is much higher than last year's team. Omar Stanley is good. like he is really, really good. And I thought that it was going to take him a season maybe to get to this level, but Omar has arrived. The big three, whether it be Max Rice, Chibuzo Wabo, Tyson Degenhart, they have been so consistent that they've almost become boring. That's supposed to be a compliment, man. It's so funny how we roll into a press conference, 2 games ago, Buzo goes for 19, and we don't even really talk about him because there are so many other storylines. Tyson Degenhart kind of just wakes up, and he's probably getting you 15 and 5, which anybody's going to take that. It's probably 15 and 6, and anybody's going to take that in this league with the way that he performs. That's going to put him in the discussion to be the Mountain West Conference Player of the Year, BJ. Max Rice, I know that people have been a little tough on him. I think Max also is a little tough on himself. I think that guy has a lot of expectations because he's a 6-year senior, and at times he probably expects to be perfect, right? Well, people that are kind of down on him should also realize that he's still shooting over 35% from 3. I mean, a lot of shooters in college basketball, BJ, are taking 35.1% from three. Max is doing that, and some are considering the fact that he's struggling right now. So there's just a lot there that I think is very, very intriguing. And once they really, really start to click, man, I think the ceiling on this team is really, really high, BJ.
Yeah, Bronco 130 says point guard play has to be better, a lot better. Robbie Anderson says it's getting better, but still needs to improve. We saw flashes in the Washington State game of what Roddy Anderson can do, drive into the lane on some of those, nice drives there. I think we talked about that on the show last Friday, but it's getting better. But Jay, I certainly do think that's the one position you can look at right away and say it has to be better. And we saw Cam Martin have a resurgence offensively in that Utah Valley game. If him and Omar Stanley can continue to both provide minutes, we saw both of them out there together some more again. I kind of like when that happens. But I'm intrigued to see Omar Stanley against Mountain West big men because he's really dominating against some teams that don't necessarily have great big men. He played really well against Washington State. Yeah. They've obviously got some guys, Isaac Jones. But I'm really looking forward to that. But I think that, Meadow, we saw hit some buckets. He hadn't really done a whole lot offensively in the last couple of games, then had the three-pointer and a nice basket as well. You'd like to see a little more from guys like Keene and the other guys that are coming off the bench. Jace Whiting really hasn't been much of a factor when he's been in there. He's not doing anything bad, so to speak, but just not necessarily.
Which is good.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I would just like to see a little more from him offensively and being a little more aggressive when he's in there. But when you're coming off the bench, sometimes you just don't want to screw it up. I get it. You're worried you're going to go back on the bench. But guys like Keene, guys like Meadow, even the minutes Kobe Young gets in there here and there. Man, we talk so much about this depth, but I'm just not seeing a ton of production when they come in right now. I would like to see a little more from them. But I got to say, Jay, now that we're in conference play, I think you're going to see your main 5 or 6 guys, even though Leon said he didn't want to do it. It's just how Leon is. And I even said, going back to as you did as well, I'll believe it when I see it. I think we're at the point now where you ride your guy. If they're feeling good and they're healthy and they're not in foul trouble, you're going to see the Max and Tysons of the world playing 35 minutes.
Yeah,
most times here.
I do think the good news there, though, is that you really feel confident about 7 still. And I think that's big. You still feel confident this team going 7 deep. I think they need to get to 8 or 9. I don't know if Mountain West Conference play is the time you really want to experience with that. But the two things for me, point guard play, it just needs to be a little more consistent. And right now, Roddy is learning in on the fly, and he's still young. And I have been very adamant about this. He's only in his 2nd year of college. It's so unfair to compare him to Marcus Shaver Jr., who was in his 4th year of college when he started to play for Boise State. But when he can become a little more consistent, he's done a much better job of playing with pace, taking care of the basketball, setting up his teammates. He was scoreless last game. So now the next step is to do all of that, but still have a little bit of a threat as a scorer, right? We certainly know that he has that ability because he did it last year for a team that was bad, and then he transferred for that reason. So once he starts to kind of become a little more consistent across the board, that's going to be big. Outside of that, I think that once you get into Mountain West Conference play, when it comes to your guys off the bench, you want one in the front court, you want one in the back court that you can rely on. Jace Whiting, you're right, man. Maybe you want a little more, pop out of his game, but he isn't doing anything bad. We've seen a lot of teams continue to pressure him full court. He's getting so much better at breaking that pressure, right?
Yep.
Outside of that, Cam Martin being a presence in the front court. I liked what Leon Rice did last game where he went to Cam much earlier, brought him off the bench early in that contest just to make sure that he felt like he was a part of the game in the flow. And I think it made a big impact because he was productive with, I believe, 10 points and 6 rebounds. Yeah. Outside of that, and this is the luxury that will make this team much better. They need one of those wings off the bench to become more productive and consistent. Is that RJ Keene? Is that Andrew Meadow? They need one of those guys to be, if you can rely on one of those guys every night for that 8 minutes somewhere along the way. Obviously it's not going to be 8 straight minutes, but somewhere so 6 to 8 minutes where you can have one of those wings come in and still feel like you're being productive. That's where this team kind of starts to get to that next level.
Well, Jay, appreciate it. And we went over a little over the time today, and also you agreed to do it an hour later because Stadium Swim didn't open and allow us to get in earlier. So we appreciate your time today, and we'll do it again on Friday. And this is how crazy it is, Jay. I'm with you right now I'm in Las Vegas. And when I talk to you on Friday, I'll be in San Jose. But I'm going to St. Louis in the middle to pick up my kids. So
when do you finally come back home, man?
After the San Jose game on Saturday.
Okay. All right.
And then hopefully I'll be seeing you Saturday night at our BNN dinner. We got to put the pressure on you for that. I would love to see you and Camille. You guys deserve a little, at least an hour or two night out here with the lack of sleep you guys are getting with the kiddos there. So looking forward to hopefully seeing you Saturday. But Friday we'll have a couple games in the books and we'll have a game to preview. I do want to talk a little football Friday as well, Jay. There's been just with the recent coaching news. We may have another coaching news by Friday and just kind of transfer portal or lack of interest there. Where there were some questions there from the fans, and I'm sorry guys we didn't get to that today. But with being down here at Circa and the time commitment, just wanted to focus mostly on basketball and stuff. But we will try to talk a little football Friday as well. Anything you want to promote for KTVB, Jay? Anything big coming up, or is this kind of a weird week for you guys?
It's a little quiet, but the biggest thing is we're broadcasting the game again against Colorado State. So that one, I think when everybody picked TV games, that one wasn't at the top, considering
that is crazy to me.
Colorado State was 15-18 last year, but now it's like that's gonna be one of the best games in the country that night.
Makes your whole deal with KTVB worth it for that game.
Absolutely, man. I'm already working on game notes. So
there you go. We're gonna have all the national folks, the Jeff Goodmans of the world, watching Jay Tust on the call on the Mountain West Network. And is that on big KTVB as well? Is that a big KTVB game?
We're trying. I'm trying to push for it. It's definitely going to be on streaming options, but I'm going to push because I have zero pull for that, but I'm still going to push. It's a tough.
They don't let you decide that?
No, gosh, no, man. If they let me decide it, we would just have sports on all the time.
Well, Jay, appreciate your time as always, man, and for giving it to us. And we'll certainly be seeing you here in the next couple of days. I'll have John Mallory with me tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Again, we're at Circa Resort and Casino Stadium Swim. I was very thankful that nobody asked me to jump in the pool because I might have been tempted to give it a shot today. It's a nice heated pool. But I'm not wearing a swimming suit or anything, so not going to happen today. But would love to see everybody out here join us. You see the pools, you see the games. It's going to be so much fun for the Mountain West Tournament. Again, the Mountain West Tournament is coming in March, and we will be here at Stadium Swim, Circa Resort and Casino on Friday, March 15th. We're going to have private cabanas, private area. If you're a paying subscriber, you're going to get some appetizers. You're going to get a couple drinks. Otherwise, they're going to have discounts on stuff on how to buy them. And we're just going to be hanging out, swimming, having a good time, meeting some other Boise State fans, and then getting ready for the semifinals Friday night at 6 p.m. So what else are you going to do all day in Vegas? You're going to come hang out and watch the Big 10, Big 12, Big East, all the games all day. They start at like 8 a.m. out here on that day. And so we'll have the games on the TV, food, drinks, the pool. It's going to be a lot of fun, and look forward to hopefully meeting a lot of you and a lot of you out here. And as I said, Circa's making an investment into this to make it happen. So please, if you can, we'd love to have you. Make the decision right now. Tell your friends. All come hang out at the pool and watch games and hang out with other Boise State fans. We're going to have our own private pool. We're going to take this thing over. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hope you guys will join us again Friday, March 15th. So we'll see you guys. Have a great rest of your day. I am flying back to St. Louis this afternoon to get my kids. We'll be doing the Tyson Degenhart show tonight. That's right, the tentative plan, if we can pull it off, 8 o'clock tonight, the Tyson Degenhart show. Lexus Williams scheduled to be our guest tonight. We're working through some logistical issues on that, but assuming that they can pull it off on their end and I can get to St. Louis in time on my end, live from St. Louis for myself will be the Tyson Degenhart show. He'll be back in Boise. The guest tonight, Lexus Williams. So it'll be from 8 to 8:30, and then that New Mexico-Colorado State game is at 8:30. So make plans to join us 8 o'clock tonight for the Tyson Degenhart show, and then 8:30 will be the game. So we don't want to cross program with the game, so it'll be a little bit shorter show tonight. But Lexus Williams scheduled to be our guest. Looking forward to that. We'll have John Mallory and Mike Prater on BNN Live the next couple of mornings, and then I will be off to San Jose, and I will be live from San Jose on Friday morning to get you set for Boise State, San Jose State in the conference opener. So thanks again to Aaron and everybody out here at Circa. Come support this place. They are really nice to us, and they give us a lot of a lot of great stuff and hospitality, and everyone here is just so friendly. We love our time at Circa and coming out here, and they just couldn't be nicer. I say this every time, but from the janitor all the way up to the owner, they treat you like your family, and I can't thank them enough, and I really do highly recommend. Yes, they are a sponsor of ours, but I do highly recommend that you will not come here and not enjoy yourself. You will love this place. The pool's amazing. The sports book's amazing. The steakhouse, Barry's, is amazing. Come to Las Vegas whenever you come. Reach out to me. I can try to help get you a discounted room if you ever come down. But at a minimum, I got that 15% off code for the Mountain West tournament. So if you're coming down to Vegas, you want to stay at the D or Circa, I can give you 15% off. I'll send you the link, and you can book the reservations there. If you don't stay here for the tournament, hopefully you'll make plans to come join us for the pool party. Again, Friday, March 15th. That'll be from 10 to 4 all day. And we'll be out here doing a live show and having some other giveaways and prizes. And as I said, food and drink will be included for subscribers. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and really looking forward to it. So thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you. Looking forward to a great conference season. Again, you got 3 games today. Boise State gets going on Friday. Mountain West basketball is going to be awesome this year. We'll have you covered every step of the way at Bronco Nation News. So have a great rest of your day. We'll, assuming all goes well, we'll talk to you tonight at 8 p.m. Mountain Time for the Tyson Degenhart Show with our guest Lexus Williams. And then tomorrow morning, John Mallory and I at 9 a.m. will continue to talk some basketball. We'll have some football talk as well. So thank you, guys. Go subscribe if you can, BroncoNationNews.com. We had our week off. We were kind of shut down last week for the most part with the holidays. And we're back, and we're having our daily shows and our daily content coming to the website. So we had our week off. We're ready to roll here on Bronco Nation News. So thanks a lot. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning. If any football coaching news breaks, any transfer portal news, we'll have you covered at Bronco Nation News and BroncoNationNews.com. From Stadium Swim here in beautiful, sunny Las Vegas. Get down here. What are you waiting for? It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm already counting down the days till March. Can't wait. And we hope to see you. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tonight. Bronco Nation News live, BroncoNationNews.com.